Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP has a history, over a decade-long history of rewarding people, but not everyone, certainly not most people. And that's not because there's some sort of unequal distribution of opportunity investing in the world of crypto. That's not the reason. It's because when it comes to investing, we are our own worst enemies. The people who do end up with the wild, life-changing wealth because of XRP, it's because they bought it, and then they held it for a really long time. Then they made a boatload of money. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can think back to when it was first available publicly in 2013. And it was XRP was created in 2012, but it was publicly available for the first time in 2013. And so for to see XRP's what was then the all-time high when it went through the next bull cycle, was January 4th, 2018. XRP hit, about $3.35. To get to that point, you had to hold XRP for pretty close to half a decade. So it had a way of wildly rewarding the people that were waiting because they had that conviction. And then the people that didn't know what the hell they were doing, or maybe they were just emotional, getting in and out of positions, they didn't get it. Well, what did we see now? So this time we had to wait over 5 years. We had to wait closer to over 7 years for a new all-time high for XRP, but we did get it. And the reason we had to wait longer is because there's only an opportunity every 4 years for the cycle, because things truly are cyclical. And so XRP's only run when the rest of the market's hot. So we missed the last one because of the SEC. We had our first opportunity, without that legal concern hanging over our heads. And wouldn't you know it, of course, XRP ran. It sure is like, but what did you have to do? You had to, if you wanted that, you had to hold for a really long time. And so now we actually have been rewarded. Those of us who have been holding throughout that time period, we have been rewarded. Now, the cool thing is, it's not done. I do not think that XRP is done rewarding those who are hanging out here. I still firmly believe that the last most fun piece of this all is going to happen. And what I mean by that is XRP, yes, will of course hit a new all-time high, but also enter price discovery, because that's the part we haven't had. Yes, it's true. January 16th, XRP hit a new all-time high for the first time in over 7 years. Love to see it. One of my favorite days in my entire life. It's just so exciting, and just to be vindicated in my beliefs, and I'm sure that you guys all felt the same if you've been here a few years. I'm sure that we are all feeling the same thing here. But the part that we're really most excited and waiting for is not just tapping the all-time high and then going back down, but blasting through that thing even higher, the face melting part. And that part I personally do believe is coming. But of course, in the meantime, I understand that a lot of people are feeling beaten down here. And you shouldn't. In fact, I'm going to share with you a number of perspectives from various XRP chart analysts in this video. But the convictions are not wavering from them. And it sure as hell isn't for me either. I will hold however long it takes because XRP just makes sense. It does. The market agrees with me, or it wouldn't be here after all of this. I mean, the worst thing that could have happened to a cryptocurrency outside of, being like, if there was a hole in the code or it was a rug pull, outside of that, the worst thing that could have happened to a crypto happened to XRP, being attacked by the United States government, specifically the SEC. And I'm telling you, if that wasn't enough to kill it, and it wasn't, then nothing is, except for if the market finally decides for any reason in the future that we just can't foresee now that XRP no longer makes sense, fine, I'll make peace with that. That is not what the market is showing us. The market is showing us that they agree with you, they agree with me. And it makes sense. Of course there should be a coin that's a large cap towards the top of the listed market cap that's really just broadly speaking great at payments. That was the original promise of Bitcoin, which it can't and doesn't live up to. And then you've got Ethereum at number 2 in market cap. That was never intended to be a payments coin. So then what's the next one? It's XRP. It just works. Transactions so cheap, they're a fraction of a penny, might as well be free. So blazing fast, it's effectively real time, settling a block every 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah, it turns out the market actually does care about that. It does what Bitcoin promised to do, but it's also got a bunch of extra bells and whistles. So for all these there's so many reasons. It's not going away. It really does just come down to the patience. And those of you who have the patience are the ones who have the opportunity to be rewarded. It is indeed up to you. But of course, it's normal to have fears in markets, stock market and crypto. There's this post from chart analyst Charlie Bolello. He shared this with his 635,000 followers, and he's the chief market strategist at Creative Planning. And he wrote, the S&P 500 has now fallen over 10% from its peak on February 19th, the biggest drawdown since 2022. This is the 30th correction greater than 5% off of a high since the March 2009 low. They all seemed like the end of the world at the time. Okay, well, none of it seems like the end of the world to me, but I get what he's saying. To people, broadly speaking, especially the typical lemming retail speculators, all of this does. And the crypto asset class, of course, tends to move in tandem with the stock market because they're all risk assets. They're all considered risk on assets. And so, of course, when people are fearful and they don't want to take risk, then both markets dump at the same time. That's what that is, because people feel similarly about both asset classes. It's just they're even more scared about crypto, way more volatile, obviously. This is not the end of the world. There will be more instances like this in the future, even when the S&P is way higher than this. And the same is true of crypto. We've got like what, a 2.7 trillion, yeah, okay, $2.66 trillion market cap for the crypto asset class. One day that's going to be 10 trillion, 20 trillion, into 30 trillion. And when we are in that level, there are going to be pullbacks. Say it pulls back to 25 trillion for the entire asset. And mind you, we're at 2.66 trillion. It's going to pull back to 25 trillion or something like that. And people will be fearful. But if you knew for sure that we could get to the point where it could pull back to 25 trillion, wouldn't you feel elated and very excited to invest? I mean, yes, obviously. So it's all perspective. But that's why if you just have a long time horizon, you make it. And those people that have gotten, their millions of dollars from XRP, and there are people the world over that have already made millions of dollars investing in XRP, it's because they've had a long time horizon. And they don't mess things up by emotionally investing and getting in and out of positions, blah, 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 so on and so forth, and being impatient. There's also this post from chart analyst Mustache, #Bitcoin, don't bet against the cycle. Trend line is still intact, similar to 2017, similar to 2020. Well, indeed, and I will keep beating this point into your heads over and over again. History doesn't find it. Doesn't literally repeat, but it rhymes with itself. There are very similar things that happen again and again and again. This is not the end. The best is yet to come. Here's a post from Charting Guy. He said, based on looking at charts in my watch list of 40 of the top cryptos, in my opinion, the strongest coins are XRP, XLM, HBAR, and Cardano. And then he's got in a separate post this huge list, I'm not going to read all these, of coins that those four look better than. And yeah, I buy that. XRP is substantially outperformed, so it's not surprising. And those of you who have had a sufficiently long-term time horizon have already benefited substantially, because XRP is beating the rest of the market. I just don't believe it's done. That's the neat part to me. And, we have to see that play out still. I personally do not believe that it's done. I really do believe, like I said at the outset of the video, we're going to see, finally, now that it's been over 7 years, we're going to see true price discovery for XRP for the first time in the better part of a decade. But look, it's not our fault. Look, we didn't know that the government of the United States was going to attack us. If not for that, I think we would have seen that last market cycle. But okay, so we got to wait for it now. Not a problem. The market is in the process of rewarding our patience. That's what's actually playing out right now. It's certainly paying out for Charting Guy, too. Look at this, is incredible. He's publicly shared this many times, but this is from 2 days ago. He shared that 85.83% of his crypto holdings are in XRP. And he'll regularly share like a portfolio update. That's a huge percentage. He's got me beat. Now, XRP is I'm biased. It's my favorite cryptocurrency, and it's my largest holding. And it's been a little while since I checked, but I believe that XRP is making up somewhere around like half of my entire crypto portfolio. And it was still my biggest individual holding even before it started running in November, but now it's like half. So now it sounds ridiculous to me, but I mean, I'm happy for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm very thrilled that it's making up half of my portfolio. But part of the reason that his is at 85% is because he was holding it before it rocketed in November. So I don't remember what the percentage was before that. But the point is, he gets to have it that high because he was right and he's winning. That's the point. XRP rewards you. It rewards those people who just have a long enough time horizon. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom. XRP update. Bulls have been battling $2.20 all day. By the way, he posted this Wednesday night. Showing the significance of this level. If it continues to hold, I am eyeing a bounce to mid-range. Books remain thin on the ask side across the board. He also shared this. By the way, actually, no, I almost skipped something here. I wanted to highlight this. Somebody wrote to him and said, will certainly be a battle to get through the sell wall at $3 to $3.50 when we get back up there. And Dom wrote the following in response. Sure, but that's a good problem at this point. Running back to range high again gives a probability of a new all-time high at like 80% chance. And so, look, Dom's conviction has not wavered here, And it's not because he's just going to be a perma bull for XRP. It's because that's what logically makes sense to him. One day you'll see from these analysts that I follow, they're all, at some point, they're all going to flip and be like, guys, the chart's not look so great, which just means that we're probably reaching the top. We're nowhere near that yet. We're just not, maybe time-wise we are, but in terms of percentage, no, we're not seeing that yet. And so he's still unwavering in his belief that what is most probable is, yes, we do hit a new all-time high, and then price discovery just comes. There's also this post from chart analyst Dom, and this is what he gets from me in Intellectually Honest here. He gets a lot of people on the internet screaming at him, and I know what it's like too, because I'm very pro XRP, and it turns out that there are a lot of toxic Bitcoin maximalists out there who don't like that, let's say. I don't know if you've heard about this. Have you seen a head about this? They don't like it. Toxic Bitcoin maximalists. And so Dom writes here, you're an XRP maxi. No, I am just an outperformance maxi. Here's a chart of XRP versus total 2, which is, of course, the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin. So he says, here's a chart of XRP versus total 2, ridiculous outperformance. Why wouldn't I chart and trade the strongest large cap since the election? Well, yeah, well, you are. You would. And you're getting paid for it. Like you're being rewarded. You are being rewarded for not being a toxic maximalist. That's exactly the point here. If you just imagine, like over the next decade, what do you think is going to provide a better return on investment from this moment in time? Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum? Just to name the top 3 coins. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be XRP. I don't think it's that hard. I really don't. Here's a post from the afternoon on Wednesday from chart analyst The Great Matsby, and he said, XRP BTC pair is looking more bullish than ever, comfortably holding the weekly conversion line as support, looking ready to make its move higher sooner rather than later. And so yet another analyst here who accurately called XRP breaking to the upside. Conviction that we're going to see even higher remains, and he's optimistic it actually could be sooner than later. And I never pretend to know when this is going to be. I just know I'm going to have exposure when it happens because I have removed the risk that comes along with being a human, which is to say I am very strict with myself and I don't allow myself to do anything with my position unless I want to add. I'm allowed to do that. But once I buy, I just hold and that's that. And either I'm right and it's worth a fortune compared to where I bought it, and then I'm enticed to sell one day, or I'm wrong and it'll just go to 0 one day, in which case, okay, well, then that can happen. That can happen in crypto. I'm well aware of that. I could be wrong about everything and it all just goes to 0. Okay, fine. My conviction is what it is, though, and it's very high for good reason here. Here's another one from the Great Matsby. He said, XRP is the strongest altcoin in the whole crypto market. Many people always make the mistake of selling strength for something that's lagging, and that strategy rarely plays out. Well, that sure as hell is true. Here's a post from an analyst named DK64 Trades. I'm not familiar with this analyst. Just popped up in my feed, but I thought I'd share it because this I can't find. It's like, with rare exception, I can't find opposing viewpoints here. But this guy's got 126,000 followers, and he was talking about key levels here that XRP is going to hit $4.20, $5.89, and then he cited some reasons that he thinks it makes sense. To me, it's just so odd. XRP has been so wildly suppressed for years. The market's just playing catch up, folks. It's just happening here. Dark Defender clearly believes that as well. Take a look at this post, XRP USD chart. He says, XRP has finalized the correction on the 4-hour time frame. Below is the daily time frame. Considering the correction structures, XRP is expected to move towards $2.42 first. The real momentum will start after XRP stands above the Ichimoku cloud. And Ichimoku, of course, is a Pokemon. Supports at $2.22 and $2.04. Targets at $4.29 and $5.85. So another analyst who accurately saw XRP absolutely was going to break to the upside, and it did happen in November. And he's like, yeah, it's going to continue, though. This is what I continue to see. There's this post from chart analyst Steph is Crypto. Congratulations if you survived this XRP bear trap. Time to get rich now. Okay, I can certainly appreciate the sentiment. Now, I'm not convinced that in the coming months we're going to be hitting this level, $50 for XRP. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he's right. I'm highly skeptical of that. But, you know, even if you're talking about some of these levels like here, even closer to $10 here, okay. That doesn't sound crazy. Now, I mean, he's been very consistent. The level he usually talks about is a little over $30. I won't say that's impossible. I'm just, you know, it's not my base case. I don't think it's crazy. But the higher you get, the more I'm like, okay. with each dollar higher you predict, the more I'm like, come on, man, because that's what logic would dictate, I'd feel, of course. But yeah, congratulations if you've made it to this point. There's been no shortage of people that have already been shaken out. Here's a post from chart analyst E. Greg Crypto, and for the sake of time, I'm not literally going to read this whole thing, though who knows, maybe in a future video, but I just wanted to point out part of what he stated here. He said, XRP double digits this cycle, triple digits next. Now, double digits this cycle, if anything, if you're talking like low double digits, like around 10, $11, a lot of people think that's way too conservative. So I don't think anybody's gonna be calling you crazy for saying double digits price action for XRP. Now, as far as triple digits for next cycle, he's not predicting that for this cycle, but for next cycle, I don't know. You know what it comes down to me? It's like, for me, it's like, are we going to have a ridiculous exponential increase in money flowing into crypto, broadly speaking, on a scale that we have not yet seen over the last 16 years of its existence? If the answer to that is yes, then sooner than later you could, if XRP is going to continue to have long-term viability. I don't think triple-digit price for XRP is impossible. In fact, I'm quite certain that it's not, and there are a number of reasons I've talked about in previous videos for that. There's certainly more than enough money in existence to make that happen if it's going to be successful long-term. I'm just not personally in the game of estimating or predicting when that's going to be, if it happens, and I don't even know for sure if it's going to happen ever. But I mean, if you see a huge increase, even that potentially isn't crazy. But man, that would be, it'll be easier to feel stronger perhaps one way or another after this cycle's done. So maybe we reassess that topic for fun in a video once we're back in a bear market. But like, what if XRP peaks at $10 versus what if it goes higher? Because the higher it goes, the more the easier it would be to be like, okay, so there is that type of money flowing into crypto. A certain amount is going into XRP. Then it may not be so crazy to think you're going to get a certain multiplier effect. But the weaker this cycle tops, the harder to believe it is that there's just going to be some sort of like snap of a finger moment where that's what sets it off. And I'm not against the concept of an exponential increase in money flowing into the crypto space. I just don't have strong conviction that's going to happen next cycle, triple digits. But I absolutely acknowledge if we're right about XRP in terms of its long-term viability, then without putting a time date on it, because I'm just not comfortable doing that, because it would be disingenuous for me anyway. I acknowledge that could happen, sure. It's not crazy, but you need to continue to see adoption on a global scale, and I still don't know what that looks like time-wise. So he seems to be optimistic it could actually happen next market cycle. I hope he's right. I'd love to see that. I mean, I'd love for everybody to get rich, and that would certainly make it a lot easier than if we're not talking about a level anywhere near there. But the good news is, for the vast majority of people listening, and I know this just from having been in the community as long as I have, most people don't need that price level, $100 plus, and most people aren't counting on it for this cycle. I do know that. Not that y'all wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it either. I'm just saying, like, I know that that's thankfully not what most people are counting on this cycle, and we'll see if anybody's counting on that next cycle. But the point is, more importantly, I'd say, we're going to get ours this cycle rather than having to wait. At least for those people that have been waiting, because there's so many of you have been here for as long as me, or even if it's just been a handful of years, that's still a long freaking time. You were here in the depths of the bear market, then you've been through a lot. Our time is here pretty much, folks. That's what I'm thinking. To me, that's a very key takeaway. But it's a fun topic for conversation. So we can talk about it more a different time. I'll wrap up here for now. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.